You know that feeling when you pull off a fantastic play, catch a game-winning touchdown, and pure, unadulterated joy explodes inside of you? Some players take celebrations to a new level. We're talking about the celebrations that have you leaping off the couch, high-fiving your air guitar, and maybe even shedding a joyful tear. From perfectly choreographed routines to hilarious one-person shows, these celebrations are pure entertainment gold. In this video, we'll relive some of the most epic touchdown celebrations the NFL has ever seen. We're talking teammates, props, costumes, and many more. Let's dive right in. Players have become creative since the NFL loosened its rule on touchdown celebrations. Every week, participants devise new innovative methods to celebrate, such as acting out weightlifting sessions, making references to movies, playing baseball, or doing Rock'em Sock'em Robots together. These players have continued creating artistic touchdown celebrations. In case you were unaware of the rule changes, here's what the NFL changed. Footballs can be used by players as props during parties. Group demonstrations are finally permitted. Players are allowed to celebrate on the ground. Despite being mocked by the No Fun League for limiting player celebrations excessively, players can now celebrate their goals with greater freedom. Here are some of the best NFL touchdown celebrations. Starting right on the top of this list is Terrell Owens disrespects Big D. Terrell Owens might be regarded as the founder of the modern touchdown celebration in many ways. He has repeatedly shown off his inventiveness and total disregard for his opponent. His 2000 celebration on the Dallas Star is the best illustration of this. Owens sprinted to midfield after his first touchdown, arms outstretched like a die-hard football player. He repeated the gesture late in the fourth quarter, and even though Cowboys defender George T got decked, the celebration will go down in history as one of the greatest FU moments ever. Next, we have the celebration when Steve Smith rows his boat. Do you recall the 2005 Viking Love Boat scandal? A boat filled with prostitutes and players? Steve Smith, a receiver for the Carolina Panthers, indeed did. In 2005, Smith reminded Fred Smoot and the other Vikings what they wanted to forget. They were in big legal problems. This was after Smith scored a touchdown against the Vikings. They were incorporating a current matter, a jab at the opposition, and an opportunity to appear foolish in the end zone. Now let's talk about Sean Merriman's Lights Out. Before suffering from injuries, Sean Merriman had one of the most dramatic rises and collapses of any NFL player, collecting 39.5 sacks in his first 3 seasons from 2005 to 2007, and was selected to 2 All-Pro teams. He also won the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. During those 3 years, the public saw Merriman's trademark Lights Out sack celebration almost every week. Not only was Lights Out a hit because it was so well known, but Merriman delivered it with the same intensity every time, as if he truly intended to extinguish someone's light. It also appears more complicated than it is. Now to the Ickey Shuffle. Like Merriman, Ickey Woods' career was cut short by injuries, thus this one was somewhat of a one-season wonder. However, Cincinnati Bengals supporters had an incredible season. When the Bengals shocked the NFL by winning the 1988 Super Bowl, Woods had already made a big impression in his rookie season. He racked up 15 touchdowns that season, and Cincinnati's Cinderella season was forever linked to the Ickey Shuffle. Even though the dance is a tad overdone, many players have continued to perform the shuffle as a tribute to Woods over the years. The Cam Newton's Dab. The dab was severely misused in 2015, so it was only around for a year. All of that was attributed to Cam Newton's MVP season and the October release of the Migos song. 2015 witnessed Newton become unstoppable. At one point, the Tennessee Titans attempted to tackle him in the end zone, which Newton instantly countered with another dab. It was an entertainment year for the Carolina Panthers, Newton, and the dab. Still, as a culture, we realized we had to retire it when senile presidential hopefuls like Hillary Clinton began to partake in it. Aside from Newton, very few people managed to pull it off successfully. Terrell Owens and his Sharpie. Outstanding accomplishments of individual creativity are frequently a sign of innovation. There is no order between the radio and the HD flat screen TV, between the Zach Morris cell phone and the iPhone, between a teammate's hug and the prop touchdown celebration. When the Oakland Raiders defeated the Seattle Seahawks in 2002, Terrell Owens signed the ball with a Sharpie marker from his sock and threw it to his publicist in the stands. Things would never be the same after this enormous shift in touchdown celebrations. Now to the Tanner Roll. QB Ryan Tannehill started a new tradition after signing with the Tennessee Titans in 2019. When he scored a touchdown, he finger rolls the football to the end zone and jumps into the air like Michael Jordan. Since then, the Titan supporters have dubbed it the Tanner Roll. In an ESPN interview, Tannehill stated he didn't remember what game it started. It was an at-home match. It was wide open and he was running to the left. He hadn't even given it a thought or anything like that before. It sort of just took off and continued. Next on our list is the Lambeau Leap. At Lambeau Field, when a player from the Green Bay Packers scores a touchdown, they leap into the arms of the spectators sitting behind the end zone. Leroy Butler, a safety officer, is credited with starting the Lambeau Leap when he was the first to jump into the crowd on command. On December 26, 1993, he accomplished it during a game against the Los Angeles Raiders by recovering a fumble and returning it for his first ever touchdown in football. Over time, it evolved into Butler's characteristic gesture and the emblematic celebration for the whole team. In 2003, Butler said to the Sporting News, "Scoring a touchdown is exciting, but the anticipation of all those fans ready to thank you for what you've done gives you chills like nothing else." The Mile High Salute. Terrell Davis, a former running back for the Denver Broncos, would drop the ball, stand up straight, and thank his teammates after scoring a touchdown. David would also give a bow to the boisterous crowd of supporters if the Broncos were playing at home. Because of Denver is referred to as the Mile High City, became known as the Mile High Salute. The rap trio True's 1997 song No Limit Soldiers was another source of inspiration. After True defeated the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 32 in 1998, lead rapper Master P re-recorded the song and called it Denver Broncos Soldiers. Salsa dancing. The person who taught Victor Cruz how to dance salsa was his grandmother. She was an excellent teacher, and it showed any time Cruz scored a touchdown. Cruz scored 19 touchdowns in his second and third seasons in the league, and each time he did, his sultry salsa dancing electrified the audience. The UMass alum celebrated his heritage and culture with a salsa dance, and he looked fabulous while doing it. Now let's check out Ezekiel Elliott donates himself. Before joining the NFL, Ezekiel Elliott made waves by showing up to the draft with a crop top t-shirt, and when he landed in the Salvation Army bucket, he made the most significant splash. Ezekiel Elliott dove into a massive Salvation Army bucket after winning a touchdown in a Sunday night game against Tampa Bay. Why was the bucket placed there if no one would jump into it? The story is fantastic because the Salvation Army announced they had raised $850,000 in donations. The Hingle McCringleberry. Comedy Central's Key and Peele occasionally makes fun of the NFL, as evidenced by a particular instance in which the fictional character Hingle McCringleberry was used to parody the league's celebration restrictions. McCringleberry is frequently reported for his hip-thrusting three-pump celebrations, one of which occurs much later than the other two. Lance Moore, a wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints, tried it out naturally, glancing side to side before his third pump. Moore received a warning for unsportsmanlike behavior. The outcome was amusing, so I suppose it was worth a shot. Antonio Brown flies into the goalpost. Whether twerking or front flipping into the end zone, Antonio Brown has experienced many exciting celebrations. If one had to choose just one Antonio Brown celebration, it might have to be the hug with the field goal post following a touchdown on a punt return. He could have harmed a regular guy with the sheer force of his goalpost hug, but he gets back up and keeps dancing. He also received extra credit for frightening the security guy during the encounter. Brown received an $11,000 fine for the celebration. Doug Baldwin poops a football. The football was not the only thing the Seattle Seahawks pooped away in that game. We'll give him credit though. Pulling off this celebration in the middle of the Super Bowl takes guts. Compared to how he could have done it, he accomplished it relatively softly, requiring some imagination and quick thinking. Baldwin would have preferred to have that Super Bowl back, but he was fined $11,000 for the celebration. Terrell Owens has experienced some fantastic, long-lasting celebrations during his NFL career. In the middle of the Dallas Cowboys star, he sprinted 50 yards to celebrate, autographed a football, gave it to a fan, and danced with the cheerleaders. The one that became a sort of Terrell Owens slogan, though, is maybe the one for which he will be most remembered for. Get your popcorn ready. After winning a touchdown, Owens dashed to the stands, grabbing a fan's popcorn and pouring it all over his face. I hope he was able to eat some of that. The Moss Moon. Joe Buck detested this celebration the most, and that's part of what made it so fantastic. Buck referred it to as disgusting before expressing regret for allowing Randy Moss's celebration to run on Fox. Buck's response to the Moss Moon contributed to its rankings. However, Moss's celebration was hilarious and wonderful. After scoring a touchdown in the middle of a rivalry game, he staged a moon salute toward the Green Bay Packers fans. He was fined $10,000 for the incident. This is the most extraordinary NFL celebration of all time, and it was arguably the most significant moment in Moss's wild career. Now, we've come to the end of our list of the most NFL celebrations that went all out. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. See you in the next video.